Nestled in the heart of New Hampshire's scenic White Mountains, the Twin Mountain Mount Washington Holiday KOA was our home for 4 days on a recent trip to New England. From full hookup sites to glamping tents, deluxe cabins, an authentic caboose, and more, this campground had a lot to offer, and I'd love to share that with you guys on a driving tour of the location. And if you're interested, stick around after the tour to check out my list of 7 must-see things in the Mount Washington area. To kick it off, let's start at the registration building. We checked in late September 2020 and were hooked up at our site in a matter of minutes, whether it was new protocols in place due to COVID or just very thorough efficiency overall. I spent close to 10 seconds tops at the registration desk before we were personally guided to the location of our campsite. I really commend the swiftness. Similarly, any purchases made at the camp store were expedited by just having the charge billed to our site, aka billed to the card I had stored on file from my booking, a completely contactless system. And if you plan to purchase firewood, you'll enjoy a personal delivery right to your camper, cabin, or tent. Just outside registration is a fun play area featuring swings, a volleyball net, a pool, and a unique gem mine for the kiddos. Behind the camp store is a 24-hour laundry facility. Hopping in the car, we'll begin our drive exploring the area encompassing sites 1 through 22. This is a lovely, quiet area adjacent to the camp store featuring pull-through, full hookup spots, and a few deluxe cabins. We were site number 2, and like all the others in the section, enjoyed the included picnic table, fire pit, and forested landscape. The one thing I found to be a little strange was how each site faced neighbors. Of course, if you're traveling with friends or families and other RVs, this is a great setup, but if you're looking for a little privacy, this might not be the location for you. The next section features sites 101 to 113 and a few more deluxe cabins. This spacious hilltop area offered deluxe patio setups and full sun accommodations. It certainly felt a step above the rest. We were ever so slightly jealous of these spots. As we loop down towards the camp store, the iconic and real 1932 camping caboose greets every visitor to this KOA. And if you're lucky, you can book a stay in it. If you can't snag a reservation, another unique experience might be to book a glamping tent. I didn't have an opportunity to see inside, but wow, do these things look cool from the outside. Continuing up the hill, you'll find more full hookup spots and deluxe cabins in what felt like a very quiet area of the campground. Lastly, we'll visit the tenting area, which was a very shaded location with spacious, clean sites. Of course, this section was a bit vacant during our chilly September trip, but I could see why guests would enjoy a stay in the tent area. And overall, I can understand why this place has such high ratings, really welcoming and friendly customer service with an obvious effort to keep each site well manicured and ready to go for all visitors who come through. Now for some suggestions on things to do in the Mount Washington area. We essentially spent a day driving in a loop around White Mountain National Forest. Our day began at the quaint town of Littleton, where we checked out a record-breaking candy store hosting the world's longest candy counter. And boy, did it deliver. Adhering by the COVID-19 protocols, we sanitized and gloved up to fill a bag of sweet treats for the road. Next up was an unexpected gem, a visit to Flume Gorge in Franconia Notch State Park. After a small entrance fee, we were on our own to hike through the unique geological area formed nearly 200 million years ago. This well-marked 2-hour adventure took us past covered bridges, picturesque streams, and through rainbow forests emerging for the autumn season. Suddenly, in the midst of the forest, an expansive gorge seemed to emerge out of nowhere, and the trail took us right into the center of it all. Though the gorge itself stole the show, there were captivating landscapes around almost every corner of this hike, making it one of my favorite stops in New Hampshire. Our drive continued along the Kancamagus Highway, a scenic path that cuts right through White Mountain National Forest. If you're looking for views or even just a relaxing, windy drive, add this road to your list to get some of the best views in the area. Next up is a stop in the town of Conway, which features a number of local shops and the Conway Scenic Railroad. We had no plans here, but made a pit stop after seeing a stormtrooper in the window of a coffee shop. It's the little things that win us over. At this point in our day, we were really craving some farm-fresh apple pie. Google recommended we jump over to Fryeburg, Maine to pay a visit to Weston's Farm and Market, where we ended up buying a little more than expected. Our last stop on the way back to the KOA was a visit to the Omni Mount Washington Resort, a majestic hotel nestled at the foot of the White Mountains. This historic resort was a sight to behold and the perfect place to enjoy a glass of wine while taking in the awe-inspiring surroundings. It's also a known haunted location, though I didn't capture any evidence in my photos. While our day concluded shortly after the Omni Resort, I have one more must-do thing on my list, which we spent nearly half of the next day doing, getting dusty at Jericho Mountain State Park in our very own UTV. If you want to be out in nature, this is certainly one heck of a way to do it. We rented from White Mountain ATV Rentals, and I'll have an entire video on that experience coming out in the next few weeks, so be sure to check that out. I realize there's so much more to see in the White Mountain region, but I simply want to highlight some of my favorite spots. We were lucky to have the Twin Mountain, Mount Washington KOA situated right in the middle of it all, and look forward to another visit to explore more sometime again in the future.